Hello everybody. Today I wanted to make a video to sort of complement a video I made in the past about evolution being a religion, and I think I kind of touched on it a little bit, but the thing that this video is about is just to state why evolution is not science and what it would require to be science. So in science, we have the scientific method, which involves you formulating a hypothesis. You set up a experiment with instructions that are able to be repeated. You carry out the experiment, writing down how you did everything, your methods, your procedures, your work, and then you reach your conclusion, and you can then infer from that, and you can speculate about that and go from there. But that experiment has to be repeatable. It has to be falsified. And so the thing that we are taught is that evolution is a theory. It's called the theory of evolution. This is actually untrue because evolution is an idea. It doesn't have the thing that evolution needs to not be an idea. What evolution claims is that non-life at some point became life. This common ancestor, first common ancestor, last universal common ancestor, the Luca, this was what the parent to all things. So prokaryotes, eukaryotes, animal, plant, fungi cells, these all are related to one thing. This is domain change, not just macrospeciation or speciation, or what a lot of people typically discuss about. What actually is needed is domain change. Now, this domain change and this non-life to life abiogenesis event are essential. If you do not have evidence to support that these things, if you don't have observation and that you can show that supports that non-life can become life, and that a Luca can become all diversity of life, then you are believing that those things happen. You do not know for sure that non-life to life that evolution can even start, which is why evolution, why abiogenesis is a part of evolution. And if this was ever shown to be true, it would be at the beginning of every biology textbook, every science book probably, because it's a miraculous event. But this would be in every science book at the beginning because it's the start. And then you also have to show that life can change, that to the point where you can get a plant and a animal cell and a mushroom cell all from one life form. You need to show that something like a cow can turn into something like a whale. Or that 65 million years ago a rat was our ancestor, so show some change like that can happen. And then you'll give these small examples that really have a lot more to do with adaptation. But if if we start with a blank slate, even field, and I propose to you that a lizard will change only so much. It will be able to adapt to its environment. The ones that better adapt do, but these adaptations have limits. A lizard will never grow feathers or fur or develop lungs, or not lungs, sorry, gills, because they don't breathe in water, they breathe in air, and they can only adapt so far. Now, if I propose to you that you could expect things like maybe different size, sharper nails, or even developing like a skin flap of already made skin, or already, the coating is already there to make the skin. They just have a little pouch that forms in their stomach because they're in their intestines because they're consuming their secondary food source. This will slow down the food more. And so this is to be expected. This is, I could say, this is depth to the design code that our creator used. And what I can say is that these have limits. We've only ever observed a lizard being a lizard. We've only ever observed a dog to a dog, a bacteria to a bacteria. A human being has always produced another human being. Richard Lenski is the best example that evolution has right now that I'm aware of. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But he has simulated about 74,000 generations of E. coli bacteria, and they're still E. coli. Some do a little different things here or there, but they're still even E. coli. They didn't change domain at all. And this is supposed to simulate 1,000,000 years of time comparison as far as generations go of human evolution. And we're told that in 6 million years, a monkey ancestor formed the branches of chimpanzees and apes and monkeys and primates and human beings. That's in 6. And then 65 million years ago, you got the rat that became all of this stuff, all of the things kind of rat-like, apparently including humans. And you have to show that like this change. We're told that in 9 million years, a cow type creature could turn into a whale. This is a massive change that you need to show. You need to verify, because you're going beyond the observation. My claim to things having limits is the only thing we've ever observed. If you're going to say that something extra happens, you need to show that, because otherwise you can only take it on faith. And so you need to be able to, for someone proposing evolution, you need to be able to have the evidence, the experimental evidence, the observation in nature. You need to be able to show that non-life can become life naturally and unguided, and you need to show that life can change so rapidly or so diversely from one ancestor. It doesn't have to be rapid, I guess, but I mean, your best bet right now is 74,000 generations in, and still has shown no hint at domain change. So this is, unless there's a longer experiment, this is an issue. I've been sent an article from the National Science Foundation that literally said we've never observed life starting. So you have to believe it. It's not science, because it's not observed, and then it's not repeatable, and it's falsified. As long as we only see life produce life, you falsify that non-life can produce life. So you have to show these things. Otherwise, it's a religion, it's a dogma. But in common terms, because it's a belief in origin, and the miracles and how people can treat you and everything too. Even if you say you don't believe in evolution, and what they think of you and everything, but you have this type of thing that in common terms is considered religion. It's a dogma, but in science, it starts as a hypothesis. And evolution has not moved from the point of hypothesis. We are taught, though, that it is a fact, and that it is the way the natural world is. And this leads to the things I talked about with the religion and everything, and how 120 million people died in 1 century. And Islam, it's been estimated 270 million deaths in 14 centuries. So this is where the religious part comes in, and this is why evolution should not be taught in science class, especially as a science theory, because it's not a science. It's not science. It's not a theory. It's not a scientific theory. It's an idea. And it has no more evidence than creation. It has inference, but creation can infer every single thing that evolution can. The Grand Canyon Formation, polystrata vertical petrified trees, radiopolonium halos, endogenous retroviruses, all of these things can be accounted for and interpreted and explained on inference for creation or for evolution. These things are equal. They're on equal grounds, and if evolution calls creation a religion, then so is evolution. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. feel free to correct me, provide any support, or and if you know of any other articles or journals or anything that would help the cause, please promote them. Say them in the comments. Let me know. I'll promote them. This is something else I wanted to say. If you know anyone in school, if you're in science, if you want to go back to school to take specifically like evolution classes, or biology or any of that, we have to critique the stuff. We have to call it out in class, bring it to the dean, bring it to the board of the academic advising and scheduling. We have to do these things to get this change made, because this is not science. My dean, I swear, he knows. He stopped talking with me because he couldn't answer the questions that I had for him, and he sent me an article saying that I'm not allowed to question it, which I've gone over. We need to bring these issues up. We need to go to the National Science Foundation, the National Association of Biology Teachers. We need to go to these places and let them know, be scientific about it. And I really think don't say you want to teach creation in science, because that's also a faith. We can't overextend. We have to get what we can get. We have to get them to understand that what they're teaching is not science. What they're teaching is a belief. It has no evidence for the essential parts of it that are needed for evidence. Everything else is inference. You can support something with inference, but that does not prove it. So let me know if you want to know more on that. But we need to do this within the science structure of the academic system. Get involved in classes. If you have kids, get them involved in their classes and ask these questions, and get it brought up, because a lot of these teachers and professors probably don't even know there's an alternative. They probably don't even know that there's an option to believe that doesn't involve naturalistic evolution. So this is something that we have to bring to them. And we're supposed to be light and salt. We're supposed to preserve and cast light. So this is, I think, an approach to consider. So thank you for watching. If you have any comments or anything, feel free to say. Let's keep it peaceful as always. Stay joyous and be polite and be in unconditional love. We know Jesus Christ is the way.